Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back into another edition of Key Time Sports. It's Key Time coming back to talk about the Capital One Orange Bowl and the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. These were both classic games to watch and to give you a preview of what I think about the national championship game. So, the first game that I'm going to talk about today is the Capital One Orange Bowl. Now, one thing I can say is that this is what the college football committee was talking about. They had I like how Notre Dame and the Penn State Nittany Lions played this game. It was a rough and tumble game. It was to the form of 1980s football, where you run the football in the first quarter, you play good defense, and you play field position. And that was basically what it was like for that's basically what it was like for the entire game. But these quarterbacks, oh my goodness, they had average play. Drew Aller, 12 of 23, 135 yards, zero touchdowns, one interception. Riley Leonard, 15 of 23, 223 yards, one touchdown, and two interceptions. Now, when it comes to the rushing game, Penn State had over 200 yards rushing. They should have won this game. They really should have. And also, one thing I want to say is that Drew Aller, Drew Aller in this case was he was average, but he shouldn't have threw. I believe it was that announcer jinx because the commentators they were saying that Drew Aller was good in those situations, and he hadn't thrown an interception all night. And what does he do next? He throws an interception. So that interception proved costly. Now Riley Leonard, he threw two interceptions, but those was in the first half. And Notre Dame, they were down 10-3 at halftime. So when we look at the entirety of this game, where the dispensity in the rushing attack for PSU versus Notre Dame is well over 100, well, almost over 100 yards. And then you see the wide receivers for Notre Dame and Penn State. You see that. And you can see that Jaden Greathouse on the Notre Dame side of things carried the load. You had Jaden Greathouse, 7 catches, 105 yards. Tyler Warren, six six catches, 75 yards. So Penn State, you had a good season. Notre Dame, you have a chance to do something that you haven't done since 1988. That is 37 years. Now, also, Penn State, James Franklin. James Franklin, he deserves to be back next year because look at what he's done. And I believe more than likely Drew Aller is coming back because his draft stock right now is not particularly high. Riley Leonard, his draft stock is decent, but he needs to have a better showing in the national championship game before somebody just put all their eggs in one basket to get him, whether it be the Raiders or another team. All the teams that are in desperate need of a quarterback, they are going to be looking at the national championship game. So, and also when it comes to third down efficiency in this game, third down efficiency, Notre Dame was 11 of 17. The Penn State Nittany Lions was 3 of 11. And what do I always say, America, when it comes to a team that is 3 for 11, they are not going to win a game. Now, like I said, the game was headed into overtime. And if Drew Aller doesn't throw that interception, who knows? Penn State probably wins in overtime. But we can't say what if or what should have happened because the game is finalized. It has already happened and the game is history. It's already in the books. So that's all I have for the Capital One Orange Bowl. The next game I'm going to cover is the Ohio State Buckeyes and the Texas Longhorns, the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic in Arlington, Texas. This game had so many momentum shifting plays. It's just too much to say what play gave the Buckeyes momentum and what play gave the Texas Longhorns momentum. Because when you see Will Howard 24-33, 289 yards, one touchdown, one interception. Quinn Ewers 23 of 39, 283 yards, two touchdowns, one interception. Quintavion Wisner 46 yards. Travion Travion Henderson, 42 yards. So the rushing attacks for both teams were basically non-existent. But Quinn Ewers, that interception he threw, it was an ill-advised throw. And also, Texas, they had a chance at winning this game. They had a chance at sending this game into overtime. But the man of the hour, and everybody knows who I'm talking about if you watch the game in its entirety. The guy I want to talk about is Jack Sawyer. Jack Sawyer came off of a spy blitz, and that is the name of the play that the Ohio State Buckeyes called spy blitz. And when he came off of that blitz and hit Quinn Ewers and the ball was loose, I was so excited because I picked the Ohio State Buckeyes to win this game. And obviously, Jack Sawyer and Quinn Ewers used to be former teammates and former roommates. So this is great for everybody that is associated with Ohio State because I believe that the Michigan loss, as we look back on it, was a blessing in disguise. It really was. And one thing about it is both teams in the national championship, they've had a loss that has brought them back down to earth. Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois University in week 2. In week 12, Ohio State lost to Michigan. Ohio State, they haven't given up 12 points. They only allow 12 points each game. Notre Dame has a good run defense. Ohio State has a good run defense. This is going to be an all-time classic national championship game. But now back to the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, and I am going to finish out with this. Texas, you've put the SEC on notice. You are going to be a force to be reckoned with. Steve Sarkisian, he is a good coach. Arch Manning is coming into the fold later on this year playing for the Texas Longhorns. We don't know where Quinn Ewers is going to go, whether he's going to go into the NFL or come back to college for another year. And another thing I want to say is as far as third down, Ohio State 3 of 10 on third down and Texas 5 of 15. This was basically a defensive showdown, and it was fitting that the last touchdown of the game came off of a defensive play by Jack Sawyer. Jack Sawyer, he's been at Ohio State for a while now, and he's always wanted to get to a championship. Now he has a chance at getting to a championship. He was on that championship team with Justin Fields, where they went to the championship down in Miami and got their doors blown off versus Alabama back in 2020. So now this will be his second chance on the national championship stage, and Ohio State, they have a good chance at winning their first championship since 2014. And with that, those are my reactions to the Capital One Orange Bowl and the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, click the notification bell to get notified of all of my reaction videos, shows, and other content. And also, please like, share, and follow Key City Sports, which is now on YouTube, which is now on Instagram ahead of the TikTok ban. So for everybody who watches Key Town Sports and who watches Key City Sports, we are now on Instagram. Key City Sports is now on Instagram ahead of the TikTok ban. And remember one last thing, the key is always on time.